Chris Galzer here with
Matt Howell.
And this week on The First Run, Matt and I checked out Honeymoon, which you can now watch on Netflix. It's a film from 2014 about a young couple that go to honeymoon at their cabin in the woods, and obviously things go horribly awry, which is what happens when you go alone into a cabin in the woods. I think it's a pretty set concept at this point. Why aren't we doing Jurassic World? Because I'm moving. I have no time to go to the theater this week to check out Jurassic World. I'm going down to Tampa. Hopefully next week everything will be in place. We'll talk about Jurassic World next week. Perhaps we'll talk about Inside Out, the latest Pixar film. But unfortunately, you're going to have to stick it out one more week before we get back in the theaters. So I'll tell you what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday, and then it's going to be our 5, I don't know if favorite is the right way to describe it, but it's going to be the 5 worst movie getaways. And I'm kind of curious about how you tackle this, because I went through a couple iterations in my mind putting this list together, and we can talk about that when we get into it. So first off, though, we're going to discuss Honeymoon.
What's going on with you?
I'm tired. The drive, the wedding, stress of everything is catching up to me.
You wanted to get married.
Yes, that's all I want.
I just want to make you happy.
You do. I promise.
Hello?
You ever killed anything?
Have you? B?
So, Matt, it's a young couple. They seem like a lot of fun, right? It stars the lovely Rose Leslie, who's known, what's her character, or was her character on Game of Thrones?
Ygritte.
That's right. So she was one of the wildlings. Wildlings?
Yeah, you're right. You're doing good there.
Thank you. I'm just, I'm only about 5 episodes into the latest season. I know it's already been over for like a week. So anyway, she's not quite as Irish. Not that she's supposed to be Irish in Game of Thrones, but she's not as Irish this time. And she marries Mr. Harry Treadaway, who's plays a character named Paul. They go to the woods. It's Rose's in this movie B. It's her cabin when she was a kid. Her family used to go up there, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one day, our hero Paul wakes up and Bee's not in the bed anymore, Matt. And he's frantic looking for her, and he finds her standing in the middle of the woods. And going forward, there's just something not quite right about her anymore as he tries to figure out what happened to her. So we've seen this movie 100 times, Matt. Is there any reason to check out this version of the Cabin in the Woods type film?
I guess no. There's no compelling reason, I don't think, to go check this out. I didn't think it did anything particularly well. I thought the acting was pretty good. I thought the kind of sense of unease was pretty good. The kind of payoff at the end, you saw coming from a mile away. There was really only like a handful of things it could be. But I thought where the movie was pretty interesting is, at least before it really kind of shifts into something supernatural, otherworldly kind of thing, it kind of has this metaphor for like, you don't necessarily really know the person that you're marrying. So like, there's once you get married, you kind of realize that they may be a completely different person.
Yeah, and I think that's a big strength of the film. I think that's why, for me, the film worked as well as it does. It does a great job of the relationship with these two. I felt was entirely believable, as well as Paul's kind of crisis and mystery as he's trying to figure out what's going on with his wife. She's now a different person. He doesn't know why. And I think it does a great job of playing on that, like you never really know anybody,
Mm-hmm.
There's always some weird thing, I'm sure for you, some wild masturbatory thing that you do that you don't want people to know about. But I think, I don't know. I would have to say, for me, I think it's definitely worth checking out. I think I really enjoyed it. I think it does a fantastic job of ratcheting up the tension and the mystery as the film progresses. I was really impressed by that.
There are some really creepy scenes, like the scenes where she's like practicing and the what to say to him to like deny sex while in the mirror while she thinks he's gone is really kind of weird. I think for me, it may have just been my own failing. I just kept anticipating, okay, as like what's causing this. I was kept waiting for the payoff instead of trying to just kind of enjoy the what's going on and the really fine job they did as actors, and kind of that whole scene setting. I was trying to figure out, okay, what is it? Is it, is it a ghost? Is it aliens? What is it? Those kinds of things. And that could be just my own fault.
Yeah, I'm going to put the blame square on you for this one. I think it does a great job of ratcheting up the tension minute by minute as he's trying to figure out what happened to her and why she's changed. I love that scene when he catches her practicing her lines in the mirror. There's a lot of nice little moments like that. I think, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very successful. I love the fact that I don't want to spoil too much, but I love the fact that it's just not one of your typical psycho killers in the woods. Or it's not the rednecks that I don't want you around these parts, boy, type stalking thing. Right. I appreciated that. I liked where they went with it. The ending of it, I like. Ooh, how do I say this? There's only so much I can say that I don't want to ruin anything. But I think some of I liked how she handled the problem.
Right.
I don't know how else
that should the links that she went to keep him safe kind of thing, and that it's implied that the same thing or something similar may have happened to the person who was also on the lake or whose husband disappeared kind of thing. So
so it's just a little moments like that. There's a couple too. There are not many, but there are a couple of real cringe-worthy scenes in this film involving I don't want to tell you what it involved because we're trying to keep it PG.
The scene on the bed, I assume, is what you're talking about.
Yes, and I don't like to devolve into that scene was so cool, Chris Farley sketch type thing, but still, that was really quite disturbing. But I think really the strength of this film, as I said, is the relationship between the two leads. I think it's totally believable. It totally earns the marriage between the two of them and the stakes and the desperation that they have in it. I think that's really the strength of the film. I think it does a great job of building the tension. Does it pay off as well as it should? Maybe not, but good enough for me. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I took the time to sit down and watch it. It's on Netflix. You can't. I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I think as long as you don't get too invested in the payoff like I did, and just kind of take it for what it is while it's happening in front of you, I think it's a really enjoyable film.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com if you had a chance to see Honeymoon. Last week, Matt, I had an opportunity to sit in. I don't know if you've heard the show, but I had an opportunity to sit in with Kevin O'Toole of the Culture Dogs.
Yes.
And him and I discussed quite a lot of films, including, Spy and the new Poltergeist. So you can check that out. But it was great to sit in with Kevin for that show. So I'm trying to work out something, too, where you can somehow join us once in a while, too. But I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to pull that off. So in the meantime, let's talk about what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday, June 23rd. And Matt, it's catalog week. There's a lot of stuff coming out that's just catalog titles. Not a lot of big releases. In fact, there's only one. Even then, even though it doesn't qualify for straight to DVD because those have to be really bad films. And maybe this is, but it didn't get a theatrical release. It stars Pierce Brosnan and Dylan McDermott, Angela Bassett, Robert Forster, and Emma Thompson, and Mila Jovovich. That's a pretty big cast.
Yeah.
It's called Survivor, and it's about a State Department employee, Jovovich, who's newly posted to the American Embassy in London, is charged with stopping terrorists from getting into the U.S. That puts her right in the line of fire, and she's targeted for death and framed for crimes. Discredited, she's forced to go on the run while she tries to clear her name and start a large-scale terrorist attack set for New Year's Eve in Times Square. So I think Brosnan's our bad guy in this film, but I'm not sure. He's on the cover. He's holding a gun, and we know Jovovich is the hero, so I'm assuming Pierce is the bad guy. Really embracing his inner Alec Trevelyan. It's a golden eye there. Note for everybody there. One of my favorite genre directors, I think maybe the best genre director working today, I think, Neil Marshall. His first film, Dog Soldiers, is being released on Blu-ray. Did you ever see Dog Soldiers?
No, I never did see that.
I like that film a lot. It's about it's like an elite English military unit. They get dropped off in the woods for some army games. What do they call them? They just
War games.
War games. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they run afoul of a troop of werewolves, and it's actually pretty good. I've always really enjoyed the film. So it includes a new audio commentary by Neil Marshall and a brand new making of documentary featurette type as well. So if you haven't seen Neil Marshall's, where he's directed a bunch of episodes of Game of Thrones, but I know him more for The Descent, Centurion, Doomsday. So I kind of feel like he's like the modern day John Carpenter, just churning out these really great genre films. Criterion is giving us Terry Gilliam's probably most accessible film, The Fisher King, starring the late lamented Robin Williams. When was the last time you've seen The Fisher King, right, Matt?
Bits and pieces. I don't think I've ever sat down and actually watched the whole thing.
Oh, no? Oh, you should check it out. It was on Netflix, I think, for a while. Either way, I always liked The Fisher King a lot. Jeff Bridges as well is really great in it. Includes a new restored 2K digital transfer approved by Gilliam and an audio commentary by Gilliam. And did you hear, too, he supposedly, I can't remember who it is, but somebody's going to release his Don Quixote film.
Yeah, well, they have to basically refilm it, I think, right? Yeah. I don't know if they're going to use what they already had.
That's true, huh? Yeah, they got to do the whole thing over again.
Yeah, start over from scratch.
Oof. Criterion is also giving us The Bridge. It's Bernard Wickey's film about a group of German boys in their order to protect a small bridge in their home village during the waning months of World War II. Includes a new 2K digital restoration, new interview with the writer Gregor Dorfmeister. I think I read that with a proper German accent, as well as excerpts from a 2000 documentary by Elizabeth Wikiandris, the director's wife, which includes some test reel footage from the movie. And then some catalog things being released, Matt. You have Needful Things, Stone Cold, the Brian Bosworth film on Blu-ray, finally. The 1977 version of The Island of Dr. Moreau that stars Burt Lancaster and Michael York. Fled. Remember Fled with Stephen Baldwin and Lawrence Fishburne?
No.
Well, it started a little catchphrase thing for I think a half a second about people using fled improperly because it's not really, a word. Johnny Be Good, starring Michael C. Hall. And then The Thing with Two Heads. Is it Lawrence Milland, Rosie Greer film when he gets the big guy gets the black guy's head planted on his body? It is a classic.
Unheralded classic, I'm sure.
Yes. Your straight to DVD pick of the week. Well, I was considering going with Young Hercules, the television series, the complete series, which stars Ryan Gosling before he's Ryan Gosling, is being released on DVD. But I think, and I was also going to go with Lust of the Dead 5. Are you familiar with the Lust of the Dead series?
No, sir. Although I think you must be.
Well, here's the problem. Dave watched the first one when it was on Netflix, and basically it's about a bunch of zombies that rape women in Japan. And that's how they spread the disease. Okay. Or the virus, or even call it. And it's really a reprehensible film. And now there's 5 of them.
Okay.
Netflix ran it, which I'm shocked. They had the first 3 or 4 of them. They had them for a day. And they got so many complaints they pulled it from the library, so I never got to see it.
No, that's too bad.
But the 5th one is available now. Or Tuesday. But I decided to go with Future Justice because of this one thing. I'm going to read you the synopsis. But the reason I picked it is because of the lead character, our hero's name, is possibly one of my favorite names for a cinematic hero ever. And I'm sorry it's getting wasted in a film like this. In the future of Saturn's moon of Titan houses a prison where Earth's worst criminals are kept awaiting their return to Earth for trial and execution. Because that's practical. Let's ship them out to one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn while they're awaiting trial. I'm hoping there's a transporter involved there. One of these criminals, insert name, is being flown back to Earth, escorted by 5 members of the military police. Upon their return to Earth, they find that a cataclysmic nuclear war has reduced the world to a near-lifeless husk. Searching for survivors and any clue as to the cause of the destruction leads the 6 to a warehouse bunker so you can save on sets, housing scientists who constitute Earth's last remaining hope for the future. Unfortunately, their landing spacecraft drew the attention of one of the gangs that roam the ruined countryside in search of food and resources, leading them straight to the carefully hidden and well-provisioned shelter. The gangs lay siege to the warehouse, fighting their way inside in a buddy battle that takes lives on both sides. Includes a short film, Mutants of the Apocalypse, so great. Commentary with the cast and crew. So Do you ever see the Mystery Science Theater episode? It's space. Oh, what's it called? It's the one with the guy, the big beefy blonde guy, and they call it Biff Mantooth, and like like a half hour of giving him nicknames.
Yeah, well, now I'm gonna have to Google it. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name.
All right, our hero's name is Python Diamond.
Nice.
I'm gonna start calling myself that, Python Diamond. I'm assuming that's his Christian name, or maybe that's what he took at his baptism. But Python Diamond, and they shouldn't have called it Future Justice. It should be Future Justice: The Origins of Python Diamond. You can't use a name like that and not harness it to its full potential.
Amazing.
Python Diamond. All right. I got a streaming pick of the week for you too. I don't know if you started to come up with one, but one of the better horror films from last year is on Netflix now, Oculus. And let me tell you something. It's about a haunted mirror.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're saying, come on, Chris, haunted mirror, how can that be even remotely scary? Just smash it. Makes sense, right? I'm telling you, watch the film. It is one of the better horror films from last year. It's surprisingly how effective it is. So Oculus is the way to go. What about you? What do you got?
I did enjoy Oculus. I thought that was very good. Stars Karen Gillian, who was Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. I just checked out Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal as a scum of the earth weirdo who takes up chasing after tragedies on his police scanner, and how he kind of rises to power, and what a smarmy and terrible place LA really is. But I thought it was really good.
Yeah, how do you like his performance in that film? He doesn't blink once.
Yeah, it was really disturbing to watch him. I just was waiting for him to like pull out a shotgun and just start laying waste to everyone.
I kept hoping something horrible was going to happen to him as the film progressed too. I mean, he is really. But I love Nightcrawler. I thought it was a fantastic film. Yeah, that's a good pick. Did you get any chance to put any news together for us or no?
No, I'm sorry. I completely forgot.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry. I forgot that was one of my duties.
It is. It's like your only duty. So
I know.
On Netflix.
I can't even handle that.
And then get back to us about stuff.
But I mean, it's Space Mutiny, I think is what you're thinking of, right?
Yes. Space Mutiny. Thank you.
Yes.
I think that's got to be one of the better Mike Nelson episodes of the second half of the show.
Yes.
Just to get about it now, I'm going to have to watch that again soon. I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite Christopher Lee film? He did just recently pass away at the age of 93.
So I know we like to pretend we're, cinephiles of the highest order where we've seen basically everything. Now, I haven't actually seen most of his Hammer Ovra, so I can't really say. I guess I don't know. I guess, I don't know, Gremlins 2.
All right. Well, thanks for your contribution. I'm going to have to go probably with the first one I saw him. I think it was his first one, too, is Dracula, which is the horror of Dracula.
Yeah.
And then I think I love him in the original Wicker Man.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the original Wicker Man, I think it was a 68.
Yeah.
It is one of those creepy little films. And Edward Woodward, the Equalizer, he's in it as well as the puritanical or just pure detective who's sent to this island to find this girl that's gone missing, except that's not why he's there. And if you haven't seen The Wicker Man, the original, don't watch the Nick Cage one. I'm begging you, don't watch the Nick Cage one.
No. Watch the original first, then watch the Nick Cage one, because it is hilarious.
Yeah. I'm kicking myself too for not buying when Wicker Man came out on DVD probably 10 years ago, and it was in a wood. There's a version of that was in a wood case that had the Wicker Man burned into the top.
Oh, really?
And I was kicking myself for not buying it. So I'm sure you could probably get it someplace now.
20 years from now, after physical media has completely died, that's going to be worth something to some fetishist somewhere.
That's just a bunch of old weirdos like me.
Yeah.
So, Matt, worst cinematic getaways.
Okay.
So initially, I was tackling this with not just the worst things that happened to people in when they went away, and then I'm like, well, what about if it's just the actual place itself?
Mm.
So I think and not funny stuff like Vacation, right? Because for me, because the whole thing of that, it's a hilarious film, and it's not really the getaway. It's not the place that's horrible. It's everything that happens to them on the way.
Right.
So I don't know. That was kind of my criterion. I ended up making it be places that I did not want to go.
Okay.
That's what mine was. It's just places in the movie that I did not want to go.
Okay.
On vacation. What about you?
Well, see, I went the polar opposite. I went to really just kind of stuck to the simply and just just a bunch of horrible stuff happens and it's a complete disaster of a getaway or vacation.
And they just happened to be away, so the location had nothing to do with it for you.
Exactly. Yes.
There's more just people outside of where they normally would be,
going somewhere, thinking they're going to have a grand old time, and then it not turning out so great.
Okay. I can appreciate that because it killed me too because I don't want to say because it could be one of your picks.
Okay. Probably is. It probably is.
I think it went first last time, so you can go first this time. What do you got? What's number 5?
All right. So this is a bad movie, but bad getaway. Did you ever see The Ruins?
Yeah. From what I understand, the book is supposed to be a lot better than the film.
Well, that could be. I've never read it, but obviously a bunch of kids, they go to an off-limits Mayan ruin. The locals, once they catch them there, I think they force them to the top of the pyramid and keep them up there, and then a bunch of insane stuff happens around man-eating plants, which is stupid, but they sold it as far as really it would kind of suck to die of exposure out there while a plant's trying to eat you.
Yeah, that would be bad. I think carnivorous plants are no good at all. I'm not a big fan of that at all. I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, the movie's okay. Are you a big fan of Ruins, or are you just trying to shoehorn it into the list because it fits your criterion?
I'm just shoehorning it into the list because it fits my criterion.
All right, fair enough. My number 5, I went with the town of Nilbog.
Okay.
Which is the setting in the film Troll 2.
Okay.
It could be possibly one of the worst films ever made. It is hilarious. It is so bad. If you haven't seen Troll 2, I'm telling you, it is absolutely hilarious. But it's a location, a place I would never want to go to. And they're not even trolls or goblins, so I don't quite understand that. But they turn you into plants so that then they can eat you as food. But if I had to think of a film that I was in and a place I wanted to go to, one, I would not want to be in the Troll 2 film. I certainly wouldn't want to end up in the town of Nilbog, which, of course, is goblin backwards.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, that's very clever of those filmmakers. We're going to have a very disparate list here. This ought to be a very interesting list. All right, so my number 4, I guess if you want to use Chris's criteria, I think it's the state of Georgia you're just going to have to stay out of. But it is the fun river ride that they had in Deliverance.
Too easy.
Come on. What do you mean it's too easy?
For me, it's too easy a pick. It's too obvious a pick.
Okay, did anybody even go to Nilbog? Or is it just because you just don't want to go there?
They go to Nilbog in the film. They're on vacation to Nilbog.
All right.
And then everything goes horribly wrong. And the guy screams, "No!" for like a good 30 seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they eat him.
All right. But at least Georgia's a real place. And at least you'll be passing through it. So don't get out anywhere.
I am passing through Georgia. You're right. I'm staying
in the car.
Savannah.
You're staying where?
In Savannah.
Oh, are you? Savannah's nice. I digress.
Move on.
All right.
So that's it?
Yeah, well, you told me it was a bad pick, and you kind of just ruined it for me here. So
I even forgot what you said. What did you say?
You said Deliverance. You said that was too easy.
Oh, yeah, it's too easy.
Before I even talked about
it. It's a layup. In fact, when I first had my list up, I had Eden Lake with a note, Deliverance is too easy a pick. Eden Lake is like the English version, though they're not Hicks, but about a couple that got, Michael Fassbender being one of them, that go on a little lake vacation and they get harassed by the locals. So I'm assuming we're going to see Wrong Turn on your list then too. And
no, but something pretty close.
But Wrong Turn 3 is actually pretty good. My number 4 then is this is a curveball, but I'm going to throw it at you. Though my number 1 is the biggest curveball of all. But number 4 is Couples Retreat, and it's not because the location itself. So I'm blowing up my own demands for my list because it's a beautiful area, but it's because I'm stuck with all the people in that film. If you haven't seen Couples Retreat, that is basically like a horror film for people like me. It is so upsetting. It's one of those movies where just a bunch of actors wanted to go on vacation and they wanted to figure out a way they wouldn't have to pay for anything. So they went and they made this Couples Retreat film. And what makes it further kills me is that it's Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, who I love. But it's a horrible film. Absolutely horrible film. One of the worst films I've ever seen. Not ineptly entertaining either. It's like Adam Sandler bad for me. I absolutely loathe this film. It makes me angry whenever I think about it. So I've decided, Matt, that I'm going to give myself extra picks. I'm going to go through and do your version of the list as well as I go, because I can do that. So my number 5 initially was Eden Lake. My number 4 then, outside of Couples Retreat, would probably be A Perfect Getaway. Remember Perfect Getaway? Did you ever see that?
No.
Timothy Olyphant and what's the guy that everybody likes? Steve Vaughn and Mila Jovovich. And this couple goes away on a honeymoon, and they run into people they think might be killers, but there's a big switcheroo twist ending.
Yeah, I do remember the previews now, but I've never seen it.
It's actually really good. We see it on HBO some one night. We should watch it. So go ahead. What do you got? Number 3?
Well, now I don't even want to play this game anymore. I don't even want to play this game anymore because, I feel like you're going to criticize everything I have to say here.
I will not do that.
More than usual.
Anyway. I won't do that.
Fine.
I won't say a thing about this next pick. I'll be totally supportive. Go ahead.
So it's not Wrong Turn 3 or Wrong Turn, but it's pretty close. It's the original Wrong Turn. It's The Hills Have Eyes.
Wait. Oh, wait. Let me ask you. What Hills Have Eyes? Which one?
I'm gonna go with the remake because it's a lot worse.
When you say a lot worse, what do you mean by a lot worse? I need to know if I can be supportive of this.
I mean, I guess the original is it's a little hokey, but I mean, it's supposed to be. It's kind of a B movie, whereas this one kind of went with the whole gut punch, like this is really nasty kind of thing. And I think this is one of the few times that actually works.
Yes, I agree entirely. I think Alexander Asia's Hills Have Eyes is one of the best remakes of a film ever made. I think it's considering to the source film, which I think is a piece. I'm sorry, but Wes Craven's original Hills Have Eyes is a horrible film. I know it has its devotees, but it's a bad movie. It is. It's just a bad film. It's one of those times when, we always say if you're going to remake a movie, you remake the bad ones so you can make them good. And The Hills Have Eyes, I think, falls under that category. I think Alexander Asia's version of that film is far superior. Really disturbing, too. So I'm behind that. In fact, I think that was originally my number 3. So that's a good pick. Good job, Matt. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate your praise. That's what I live for.
The number 3 place I would not want to go on a getaway, I'm going to go with Mars.
Oh, okay.
Total Recall.
Get your ass to Mars.
I'm telling you, it's the fact that if I go outside, my eyes are going to bulge out in my head, and I'm going to explode like a water balloon. No thanks.
But 3 titties.
You know what? You think you're going to like that. You think you are. But I'm telling you, it's going to weird you out.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's not going to work. I'm sorry. We're all about uniformity. We're all about
symmetry.
Symmetry. Exactly. So I think that would really bother me.
Well, you don't know until you try it, I suppose.
That's a fair point. A lot of weird mutations too outside of the whole triple-breasted thing. You got to meet up with a guy who lives in another guy's stomach. Then you got a weird mutant guy who's a cab driver who's going to betray you anyway. You got to fight Michael Ironside, one of the most legendary B-movie badasses of all time. I'm not up for that. He's a scanner, for Christ's sake. So, yeah, no. I think if I had to go, and Sharon Stone's in this before she's Sharon Stone, but she hates you.
She did.
And, yeah, so, I don't know. Out of all the places to go, I think I'd rather stay home on Earth. So
very good.
Yeah.
All right.
And not even addressing the abortion of a film that is Colin Farrell's version of Total Recall.
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't even know if it even rises, if the Colin Farrell remake even rises to enough of an effort to even be considered an abortion.
You can't say that.
Why not?
You always used to press people about remakes. That is not a remake.
It's true. It's not a remake. You're right. It is a different interpretation of a Philip K. Dick story. That is
adaptation. It's a different adaptation.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. I broke my own rule.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's the show.
I said remake. Okay, well, good talking to you guys. See you in about 2 weeks.
What do you got for number 2?
All right, so my number 2 is really not so much the place, so much as what this guy did. But he obviously went to the deserts of Utah, didn't tell anybody where he was, and he fell down a crevice and got his arm caught and had to cut it off. So I'm talking about James Franco in 127 hours.
That is a great pick. I totally forgot about 127 hours.
Whew, I'm starting to redeem myself a little bit here. But
I tell you, that was my favorite film the year it came out. Was it 2012?
Yeah, I think it was 12.
I love that film. I think I've only watched it one other time since, because it's a tough sit.
It is.
Though the ending of it is one of the more exhilarating endings in a film you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
You feel so great you're crying afterwards. Like I do a lot. I cry a lot. That's a good pick. I didn't even think about that. My number 2, the second worst place I would want to go that I would not want to go. I'm telling no thank you. Eastern Europe, Hostel.
Oof,
no thanks. I'm not going to Eastern Europe at all. First off, I'm not big on the angles. A lot of angular people out there.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that.
A lot of sharp edges. But I am that is a horrible, horrible place. And Hostel, though I kind of think parts of me still think Hostel 2 is better than Hostel 1.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to go. The mere fact that there's a chance that I could end up drugged and then tortured for sport by some rich snob guy. No, thank you. I'm going to pass on that every time. There's no way you can talk me into it. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even going to go to Eastern Europe. If I ever go to Europe, I am not going there. I'm going to go to like Italy, London,
Amsterdam.
every place they speak English.
There you go, which is everywhere.
But that's it, and I'm calling it a day. I'm not going to Germany. I still don't trust them.
Yeah, you're not going to go to Budapest?
Nope. I'm not going to Turkey. Turkey part of Europe? No, it's not. Well, is it?
It technically is. I think they're trying to get into the EU, but it's really on the edge there.
Not going to Greece either. That place is too messed up.
I mean, they don't have any money.
Maybe Scotland and Ireland. Maybe.
But
that's
France.
it. I think that's it.
That's it.
Maybe France.
Yeah.
Let's just sit here and name countries in Europe.
Poland.
No, even though I am a quarter Polish, no, I have no interest because the food's not that good. Sorry, it's not. I'm saying it. It's not that good. I'm not a big fan of sausage. So, and it's like half their diet's based on sausage-related products.
Sausage and the other half is cabbage.
Yeah, so no thank you. No win scenario there. Of course, the food in England's just as horrible. Everything's steamed or boiled.
Or fried.
Yeah, no thanks there either.
Too bad.
So I guess it's just Italy. I'm going to Italy.
Very good. All right, so my number 1, it is really anywhere underground I would not want to go, because if watching film has told me anything, is that you do not want to go underground. Not only will stuff collapse on you, or you'll get trapped, or there could be evil monsters lurking in the shadows. So this is all evidenced by things like The Descent, which I know is a favorite pick of mine for a lot of different categories, but man,
Neil Marshall.
Watch that movie. You never want to go spelunking, ever.
Never.
It's always a bad idea.
Even if it's with a group of generally attractive women. Very attractive
attractive, capable women. I just don't care. I don't want to.
You think you want, because you're going to get crammed in the tight spaces with these ladies, and this is probably the most sexist I've been in quite a while. But it's not worth it, because you're going to be killed and eaten by a bunch of eyeless, hairless cave people.
Exactly. And, I can't imagine getting my big pudgy ass through some of those cracks. I would just be stuck and left behind and die in the dark. And this is also, I watched this movie last night, As Above, So Below. Don't go into the catacombs of France or you'll go into hell.
What do you think about that? Because I that film, I loved the concept of it, but I did not like the film.
Yeah, see, I didn't really have a whole lot of, I had seen the previews, but I hadn't really done a lot of investigating, so I didn't know really what was going to be happening. I was expecting some kind of kind of ghost thing, but I didn't think it was so bad. Towards the end there, I thought it was pretty creepy and all the stuff that was going on, and I just kind of went with the whole alchemy gate to hell thing. I just kind of glazed over and went with it. If you just do that, I thought it was all right.
I just didn't think it made any sense. All the stuff they were seeing in there.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, look, here's a piano that moves on its own. Oh, here's a car that just starts up. Oh, over here, there's. I mean, it was like a blender full of horror tropes.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess the whole point is that they're, going down to hell, basically, physically.
Yeah. Maybe I should watch it again.
Yeah.
Nah. My number one then is, I think, the ultimate curveball. You would not expect me to say this, but I want you to really think about it. Would you want to be in this world? And that's the world of Harmony Korina's Spring Breakers.
Ooh.
You think you want to do it. You want to go down to Florida and hang out with all the crazy kids, and getting drunk all the time and partying on the beach, making out with random people and who knows what, doing some the hash, whatever the kids are doing these days. And you think you want to do all of that, but I'm telling you, you're going to get mixed up with a crazy drug dealer with gold cap teeth who looks weirdly like James Franco. And you end up basically starting your own little mini drug cartel. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, you're going to regret it in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that it looks really inviting, but once you turn a certain age, you want nothing to do with it.
Yes, and us two old men have kind of crossed that threshold. Although, if I had a 40, I'd pour out a little for my boy Alien. Too soon, man.
It is too bad. They're thinking about making a sequel to that film, but not with him, obviously. Which is,
obviously.
How do you see? I would not see it. I'm sorry. I think I get granted what the director's doing with that film. He's trying to turn the sexploitation of those girls on its head and kind of examine us for watching that kind of thing. And really I get that. But the only reason that film really works is Franco's just over-the-top performance.
Yeah, he's insane, and he's fun to watch.
So, if without him, and don't tell me, I don't want his brother, what's his name, Larry Franco?
Dave.
I don't want him showing up and doing his version of his brother of that, which I think would be kind of funny maybe if they actually got him to do that. But he doesn't have the presence that our boy Jimmy does.
So Dave Franco comes up playing an MC, calling himself E.T., like extraterrestrial. With dollar signs in the S.
Working for me. Working for me.
But I mean, really, I wouldn't want to go to any place that I wouldn't want to go to Harmony Korine's New York. I certainly wouldn't want to go to his Ohio. That place is terrifying. So really, nothing that Harmony Korine has ever written about ever.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I was watching the other day too. I didn't realize because I just started watching The Wire that Casper is on The Wire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he committed suicide.
Did he, the actor?
Yeah, the actor did, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because didn't he actually get AIDS or something, too, or something happened?
I think he might have. I'm not sure what the reasons was, but I do remember him saying, I remember reading that he killed himself.
Maybe I'm mixing his character from Kids in with the actual real-life actor. That's too bad. That's too bad. Anyway.
On that note.
Do you have any honorable mentions? Anybody not make the cut?
Yeah, so I did have Texas Chainsaw Massacre on there, but it was too close to Hills of Eyes for my opinion. I mean, Cannibal Family, but
so you would rank Hills of Eyes above TCM, huh?
Well, no, not as a film, but I would as someplace that horrible stuff happened. I think the stuff that happened in Hills of Eyes was worse than what happened in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Fair enough, and you have the option, possibility of that maybe getting away.
Yeah, and then
anyway, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it, but didn't they get away at the end of a couple of them in Hills of Eyes?
Two of them did, yeah. The nerdy dad goes on a kill spree and kills a bunch of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Where would I rather not be in that house?
That house is freaking gross.
I mean, the first time you walk in the house and you realize that the lampshade is made out of human skin,
right?
That's got to be more unsettling, I think. Anyway, it was one of my honorable mentions as well.
Okay,
so go ahead.
And then, you brought it up, Vacation. Obviously, wasn't the funny thing that we were going for, but that is a shitty vacation if you really think about it.
That's true.
All of them were shitty vacations.
We'll see how the new one goes, too. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant about seeing that new one.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
So, yeah, I had Vacation on my list, too. Eden Lake. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Can you imagine breaking up with your girlfriend, you go on a vacation and get away, and she's there with her new boyfriend?
Yeah.
As I had mentioned, The Perfect Getaway as well. I had Texas Chainsaw, Hills Have Eyes. The Descent's a good one I forgot as well. I'm kicking myself for that, even though I mentioned it earlier in the show. So, yeah, those are all good. Do we miss any? I'm sure there's a ton. Shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com and fill us in. Next week, I don't know, Jurassic World, Inside Out, maybe both, maybe none. Maybe I'll not be able to see anything again, and I'll have to find something else on Netflix. I'll talk about the first 2 seasons of The Wire for an hour. That's timely. So that's a big show for this week. Check us out. We're on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and I'm missing one. Instagram. That's it. Who enjoyed that pause? We're on Instagram as well. I'm going to be Instagramming my trip down to Tampa when I'm driving, leaving this Saturday. I have a very fun plan for that too. So you can follow The First Run, though I'm considering doing that on my personal account, which is Scalzo is Cool on Instagram. I didn't choose that name. Instagram gave it to me. So I guess that's pretty much it. So Matt, anything else you wanted to plug? I know you got a lot going on.
No, I don't. But I look forward to seeing one movie or maybe none.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Sounds good. So remember, Matt, we on award tour with Muhammad, my man, going each and every place with the mic in their hand. New York, NJ, NC, VA. That's The First Run. We're going to take an extended break, and we'll see you all.
Where's my wife?
Don't worry. We gave her a nice honeymoon.